be surprised if you want to listen twice. Make decisions, find the right choice. Know yourself better, find your own voice. It's okay if you need help today, cause everybody needs a little push. From the pushy broad from the Bronx, New York.
Good morning and welcome, Transformation Talk Network listeners. My name is Stewart and I am the pushy broad from the Bronx. Welcome to my show, Recovery Recharged, where I share advice and support from experts in addiction and recovery. I love doing these shows because these are the shows that I get to talk to you directly. I get to coach you as a pushy broad, as a life coach, and as a recovery coach. And I get to talk to you about the things that my clients ask me are the most important questions they want answers to. And today is no different. This, first of all, is a call-in show. So if you have questions, we will take them and I will answer them and coach you live on the air. So you need to call us at 800-930-2819 and I will answer your question as it comes. Remember, 800-930-2819. So today's topic, what are we going to talk about? One of the most important topics that clients come to me with is talking about relapse prevention. There are so many of us that are in recovery and we have triggers surrounding us all the time, and we want to know how to continue to stay clean and sober and to build up some strategies for navigating social situations. We're moving into spring. We're moving into getting out there and socializing, partying, clubbing, doing all the kinds of things that is a trigger for many people trying to stay clean and sober. So I have asked my producer, Jessica, to give me some questions that have come from clients, that have come from listeners like you, and will continue to come when you call in and ask those questions directly. So let's talk first about relapse prevention. Let's recognize personal triggers. Jessica, what's the first question?
Yeah, this comes from John in Austin. How can I recognize my personal triggers to prevent a relapse?
Well, there's a big question there because, first of all, it is personal triggers. Okay? What makes you want to pick up a drink or a drug? Sometimes you see something on TV, or sometimes you walk down the street and there's a liquor store and you're thinking, boy, it would be great to have a beer right now. Or you're at the beach with friends, or you're in the backyard barbecuing and everybody's picking up a drink with that hot dog and you're thinking, it's time. I want this. Or you're watching a baseball game and that means hot dogs and beer. Or your friends are talking about the new summer cocktails. There are so many things that represent personal triggers. The first thing you have to do is to be aware of that. I want you to stop and say to yourself, what is going to be my temptation? And for that, you have to be really honest with yourself, don't you? You have to turn around and say, I don't know if I can handle this, but this is one of the things that can do me in if I'm not careful and if I'm not watching. And one of the ways to watch is to journal your actions, track those moments so that if you are walking by a liquor store or any of the other things I've mentioned that could be potential triggers, I need you to make a note of that. Write it down on your in your phone. I mean, just text yourself a message. Got to watch out for the liquor store, or got to watch out because this corner I can smell the marijuana down the street. Something like that. Track your time. one of the other things you can do is reach out and talk to a therapist about it, or talk to the coach, the Pushy Broad. I'm taking on new clients for the spring because I know how this goes. pushybroadfromthebronx.com, and I will help you manage those triggers. But all of these things are extremely beneficial. Be aware of what triggers you, and then start to be brave enough to avoid those triggers. But we're going to continue more of that discussion as we go on. Jessica, next question.
This one's from Sarah in Toronto. What are some effective stress management techniques to avoid relapse?
One of the reasons we relapse is because we're worried about something, right? It's that time of year. It's towards end of term for you college guys and gals, and that means end term exams and final papers, and what am I doing afterwards, and job concerns for the summer, and all of those things. The same thing in high school, the same thing in adulthood. We're going into spring here, which means we're making new transitions. Or maybe as an adult, we are getting divorced, or we're getting married, or we are moving, or we are having a baby. Everything that causes you stress, whatever it is. Or maybe it's just a Wednesday, and that makes you stressed today. So stress is all around us. So just like with relapse triggers, we need to be aware of that stress. I always tell my clients, take yourself out of the play, put yourself in the audience. Watch the play from the audience point of view. What's going on here with me? What's happening to me? Take yourself out of it so that you can desensitize yourself a little bit. And then start to do some techniques that actually work for relapse prevention. Deep breathing exercise, like take a deep breath in through your nose, count to 3, 1, 2, 3, and then let it out through your mouth like you're blowing out a balloon. Do that 5 times slowly. Some meditation, some yoga, go out to the gym, find a hobby, watch TV, call a friend. Distraction is a very big way to help avoid relapse. Call your recovery coach, call the Pushy Broad, go to a 12-step meeting, stay connected, get outside of yourself, find a different connection. Jessica, next question.
This one's from Mike in New York. Can you give tips for maintaining a healthy lifestyle in recovery?
You know, I'm trying to live that. I try to spend my life walking the talk. And I know that's one of Dr. Pat's best phrases, and I use that as well. I am in the middle of a very healthy lifestyle, a balanced diet. I have a personal trainer that I started with about 3 months ago that has helped me move along. She comes 3 days a week and helps me do light weights. I walk, I get on the treadmill. Regular physical activity is essential in making you feel good about yourself and really staving off the cravings. You would be surprised. And then I spent a lot of time talking to my clients about adequate sleep. What's the right amount of sleep for your age? Are you getting restful sleep? Are you waking up completely awake? Do you hit the snooze button 3 or 4 times and then are groggy for the rest of the day? Do you have low energy, and are you napping during the day? What kind of activities are you engaging in? Are you going out to play volleyball, to play tennis? Are you playing pickleball? What are you doing? Are you playing golf? Are you going out running around with the kids? How are you keeping active? What else are you doing in your community? What gives you joy? Whatever gives you joy, most of the time translates into a healthy lifestyle. I know many people that enjoy pets, that go walking, that go out with friends. that maybe go to clubs and dance, or older adults like to play cards or play mahjong or things that give them pleasure. Healthy lifestyles centered around community and connection. There are a million things you can do. You just have to find what gives you joy. Okay, next question.
This one is from Emily in London. How should I handle high-risk situations that might trigger a relapse?
Like I said, this is the time of year, right? We're going to be doing so many things. We're going out there. The Pushy Broad is traveling. Okay, I'm traveling for a few weeks. And I know they're going to be high risk situations. And even though I have 39 years clean and sober, there's going to be events, there's going to be partying. I'm going to go to different places where there's going to be a lot of drinking. And I know that I'm going to have to look around and handle myself and tell myself, what will I give up? You know, when we've managed sobriety for a little while, we need to appreciate all of the great things that come with sobriety. There are so many clients that say to me, I don't know how I could have a good time doing anything if I'm not drinking or getting high. How many times have you said that to yourself? How do I talk to people? How do I dance? How do I sit at a bar? How do I go to a party? How do I navigate social situations, which are high risk situations? How do I do that if I don't have a drink in my hand? Okay, so put a drink in your hand. Put a glass of ice water in your hand, or put a mocktail in your hand. There are so many great mocktails out there. Or put a zero alcohol beer in your hand if you need something to hold on to. Or put zero wine in your hand. All of those things are possible. So, and remember, more importantly, how great it is to be sober. Being sober is a choice, but it also comes with what I call our own natural high. It is so great to just, for me anyway, to walk in the light and know that I'm not hiding anymore, that I'm not telling lies anymore, that I'm not living a double life anymore, that I am not making my life revolve around a mood-altering substance. So one of the ways that I handle a high-risk situation is to remember how much I have now that I never would have had before, because I don't think I would have been alive. And then if it's still hard, if you don't have to go, don't go. Okay? Know yourself. Don't go. There'll be other situations. You're not missing as much as you think. And if you have to go, make sure you have a plan B. Make sure you have an exit strategy. Make sure you go for a short period of time and then you leave. And another thing you can do is you can grab another sober buddy. Take somebody with you that's strong. Take somebody with you that will pull you out of a situation, and maybe you can help each other. Don't do this alone. Keep remembering that the opposite of addiction is community and connection. Don't do this alone. Jessica, next question.
Yeah, the next question is from Carlos in New Mexico. Why is having that support system important in preventing relapse?
Every single time you have a support system, it offers encouragement, understanding, and most important, accountability. You are accountable to yourself and you're accountable to everybody around you, especially if you have a family, if you have kids, if you have a partner. It's not only about you. Remember, there are other people in your life. You have to be accountable to something. There are so many young people that I work with that say to me, I don't want anybody to tell me what to do. I don't want to have to answer to anybody. I don't like rules and regulations and all of those things. Come on, let's get real. We are all accountable to something, no matter what. If you live in an apartment and pay rent, you're accountable to the landlord. Okay. If you own a home, you're accountable to the mortgage company. If you want to use your phone, you're accountable to the phone carrier. You've got to do something. If you don't pay a bill, you're not going to exist. Okay. So understand accountability means your survival. It means you are taking accountability for yourself. And that's where it begins. If you can be accountable to yourself, then you automatically are accountable to the rest of the world. You're putting your oxygen mask on first. And because of that, you are finding that the world around you is actually changing, whether it's seeing friends in a new light or family or going into a support group and having people share with you their struggles and successes and you sharing yours. It makes all the difference in the world in changing your outlook on life, changing the way you feel about things, because you're putting new thoughts into your head. So you're changing the way you act on things, which makes all the difference in the world when it comes to staying sober. Next question.
Yeah, this one comes from Anna and Sydney. Similar to another question, but very worth hitting again, because I think this is what a lot of people are dealing with. How should I deal with parties where everyone else is drinking?
Yeah. Nobody's saying this isn't going to be tough. I get it. But there are a couple of really hard things. So many people suffer FOMO, right? Fear of missing out. If I don't go to that party, oh my God, it's going to be terrible. And I really want to go and I don't want to miss this. Everybody feels this, whether you're a 10-year-old at a birthday party or whether you're a 90-year-old going to a wedding or whatever. Nobody wants to miss out on the fun. I get it. And you don't necessarily have to miss out on the fun, but you have to realize that your fun will turn very drastically not fun if you pick up a drink or a drug, because we know what it's like. Being an active addiction means that we don't have fun at parties. We black out because we don't remember what we've done. We make fools out of ourselves where everybody's looking at us and talking behind our backs because we're the one that has done something that has probably embarrassed ourselves or someone else. And then we may not remember it in the morning. Remember those days? Remember that? Okay, I remember only half the things I did in college because most of my friends said to me, Ellen, we did drugs, you did more. All right? When we're addicted to a mood-altering substance, is it really fun for us? Is it? I want you to remember that. I want you to remember throwing up in the bathroom. I want you to remember waking up the night after and not knowing how you got there. I want you to remember the tough stuff that you went through. That's part of it. Really remembering the bad stuff. Because if you remember the bad stuff, then staying clean and sober is a little easier than you think. But like I said before, I need you to take a buddy, all right? Somebody that you can trust. I need you to put a non-alcoholic drink on the menu, even if you're bringing it yourself, okay? There's a couple of great beers out there that are 0 alcohol and you can hold it in your hand, or there are some great mocktails. They're all over the place. Just Google it. You can find a recipe and create it. And that's where I need you to go. In fact, why don't you create the party? Why don't you make a party with no booze, no drugs whatsoever, just completely alcohol free, and tell everybody you know to bring a different recipe for a different mocktail? You host the party so everybody can see what it's like that you prioritize your sobriety. And that is always the right decision. Okay, Jessica, what else have we got?
Tom in Boston. What's the best way to deal with peer pressure to drink or use?
Yeah. You know, I have a lot of college kids and I have a lot of young adults, right? A lot of the people that I handle are in their 20s and 30s. Some people are getting pressure and some people aren't getting pressure. But I need you to understand one thing. I need you to be very straightforward with your refusal. And you don't have to say, I can't drink because I'm an alcoholic. Nobody's asking you to do that. I just say, I don't drink. That's enough. I don't have to have any other explanation. But I am straightforward with that refusal. Sorry, I don't drink. You don't have to explain your reasons at all. You can practice saying, I don't drink or no in many different ways. I don't care what works for you. I just care that you find one that you're comfortable with. And then you don't have to leave it hanging. If I say I don't drink, then I quickly change the subject. I ask them something else or I go in a different direction. Change the subject. Nobody's going to bother you. I promise you. And if any of your peers are pressuring you to drink or drug, guess what? They have a problem with drinking and drugging. They're the ones that need somebody like the Pushy Broad. So you need to direct them to pushybroadfromthebronx.com because they have an addiction problem. I'm telling you right now. Because otherwise nobody will pressure you to drink or drug. So all you have to say is, sorry, I don't do that. And move on from there. Change the subject. If you have a question, you want to talk to me this morning, please call in and ask 800-930-2819. I'm here to take your questions. Jessica, what else have we got?
Kyle in San Francisco. How do I navigate romantic relationships while staying sober?
Oh boy. I love that. I really do love that. I'm telling you, Kyle, you will navigate relationships 10 times better when you are clean and sober. Because all of you out there trying to navigate relationships in active addiction, how's that going for you? Huh? How's that working? How many times are you lying? How many times are you leading a double life? How many times are you thinking to yourself, where is my next drink or drug? And what do I have to say to my partner in order to get out of the house, or to order to make excuses why I didn't show up for an event, or why I'm always late, or why I don't feel like sex because I am in a drunken stupor or I'm too high to do anything. So navigating relationships clean and sober, it's going to be an awakening, but you're going to have more of an open communication than you ever thought possible. But I need you to be honest with that partner. You have to make sure that your partner understands your journey, and most importantly, how important it is for you to stay clean and sober. Which is why you can talk to your partner about attending meetings like Naranon or Al-Anon, which talks to the loved one about what it's like to be with somebody that's in recovery. Or you can have your loved one contact the Pushy Broad from the Bronx, because I work with parents, I work with partners, so they can begin to understand what it's like to be in a relationship with someone like you. But I'm telling you now, everybody that is in recovery and really works a program of recovery is in for the best relationships of their lives, one day at a time. I promise you that. Okay, Jessica, what else have we got?
Sophie in Minneapolis. How do I respond to people asking why I don't drink?
Yeah. As I said before, you have the right to share as much or as little as you are comfortable with. Some people choose to say, I'm focusing on my health. Some people choose to say, like me, I simply don't drink. But I'm telling you now, your sobriety is your business. Nobody else needs to know anything. And the best way, like I said, that I usually deflect from that is to say the words, I'm in recovery, or I don't drink, and then change the subject. So I hope that you have gotten some really wonderful things about today's session. Please call me, pushybroadfromthebronx.com. Make a consultation appointment. I'm here to help you through the spring. I'm here to help you in sobriety. The Pushy Broad from the Bronx is here for you. Thanks for listening. I'll see you next time. This is Ellen Stewart, the Pushy Broad from the Bronx, saying thanks for listening. And remember, everybody needs a little push.
From the Pushy Broad from the Bronx, New York.